Good morning, everybody. My name is Greg Calderon, Life Sales Director with IMES. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today, we are going to have Rick Gomez give us a presentation on Ohio National's product portfolio. They've got some really strong products that you can offer your clients to kind of round out some coverage options for them. Before we get into that, we're going to go through a couple of slides here and talk about IMES a little bit. Hope everybody's ready for their holiday weekend. So first, let's go over a few ways that we can help you make even more money. To start off, we'll talk about our new producer builders. Basically what it is it's an incentive program to help you grow your production. So as you can see, when you become a new contracted agent with IMES, when you start writing business through us, as you reach the new tiers of business submitted, you earn new rewards that you can cash in. So at $100,000, you can get an iPad, or you can get $750 cash. Once you get to the $250 level, if you cash it in at that level, you can get $2,000, and it just kind of goes all the way up to these, seminars, mailers. There's a whole bunch of different things that you can earn. So that's a great incentive to start writing business with IMES. We also have our business builders, which are our producer program referral bonuses. So you get a $50 one-time bonus when your referral agent contracts with us. And then as they write business with us, you can earn basically unlimited money because we pay you out quarterly a bonus on a percentage of the business that all of your referrals write through us. We also have our marketing reimbursement, which is $100 that we put directly into your marketing account that you can use to purchase any of the services that IMES offers to help you with your marketing. You get $100 per $100,000 worth of premium, $200 per $100,000 of SPL, or $10,000 of life target. One of the things that we do pride ourselves on at IMES is back office support. We are here to help you work smarter and not harder. We have a lot of business building tools and resources available on our website. We'll go a little bit deeper into that here in just a second. Case design assistance, forms at your fingertips, life and annuity quotes. A lot of this stuff is things that you'll be able to get on our website. That includes Firelight as well as iGo e-apps are all available on the website. The carriers are constantly growing that are able to be done through Firelight. Right now, it's mostly annuities, but life, they are new ones are being added all the time. Ohio National actually is on there as well, so good thing to keep in mind. We also have creative marketing solutions that we offer. We have ready to print, customized with your agency information. We can make you flyers, handouts, newsletters, business cards, anything that you are needing as far as that goes. If you have any questions about the creative services, feel free to give us a call. The number is 800-255-5055. We can pretty much do it all from printed materials to digital solutions, social media, websites, things like that. As far as our website goes, this is a really useful tool to have. You can do quotes on there. You can run annuity and life quotes. There is a ton of information in our sales resource library, which is all client-facing materials to help you increase your sales. So once you get licensed with us, you can create an account and get logged into our website, and we can give you a run through of all the things available to you on there. Retirement Analyzer is another thing that we offer to our contracted agents. It is a great tool to illustrate for your clients basically when they will run out of money in retirement, what they can expect to see in the future. You can even change it and make it to where it illustrates if interest rates go up, down. So we love that tool here. IMES Wealth Management. This is our wealth management side. So they've got managed money fees. Most advisors see an increase in their fixed and increased revenue as well. If you need to get a hold of IMES Wealth Management, you can also call our 800 number and we can get you routed over to them if you have any further questions on that. Life and Annuity Academies. Those are 2-day producer trainings that we run. We will have another one coming up here. I believe it's in August. So at the end of the presentation here, we'll do a poll and I'll ask you guys if you're interested in that and we can get you some more information on it. But basically, it's a 2-day training that goes over sales ideas and strategies from 4 of our top producers. They do presentations. They do cover life and annuity, top producer turnkey seminar systems, wealth transfer tools, and software tools are available. Again, we'll go over a poll later to see if you're interested in getting more information on these. Incentive trips. Greenbrier is our trip that we have coming up in October. This goes over the different levels that you have to meet in order to qualify for the trip. So level 3 is Mint. You got to get 4 million points, and you and a guest will enjoy 4 nights and 5 days at the stately Greenbrier Resort. Level 2 Sage is our rank 21 to 40, and then the Emerald is our rank 22 number 1 producers. So that's going to be a really fun trip. We're looking forward to that. Don't forget to go and give us a like on Facebook and LinkedIn, as well as we have a YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is IMS Inc. You can go back and watch all these webinars again in case you miss any of them. And with that, I am going to turn it over to Rick Gomez from Ohio National. He's going to give us some information regarding their product portfolio and kind of talk about why they're a great product to have in your arsenal. How are you doing today, Rick?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Can you see them now?
Yes.
Okay, yep. Great. Hey, I appreciate everybody being on the call. I'm going to go through a couple of minutes of our product portfolio. I'll probably spend a good 15 to 20 minutes on our IUL. There's so many IULs out there. I just want to tell you how we're distinct, how we're unique in our IUL space, but go through all the product portfolios and show you our term, our whole life, IUL, and I think I might have a slide or two on disability. So let me go ahead and get started. You know, the photo that I have out here right there, you know, all the race cars, I'll say, you know, that's indication of how many life products are out there, especially in the IUL space. And, you know, how do you differentiate from those products in Ohio National? So I'm going to go ahead and go through, and then at the end, you can let me know what questions came in. Happy to answer all of them. So let me go ahead and get started. So we have a 10, 15, and 20-year term. We have one that we call the Plus and one that we call the Basic. The Plus is fully convertible to all products. The Basic is a limited convertibility only to one universal life product that we have. Now, universal life is getting a little more competitive because of the fact that interest rates are rising. So those universal lives are looking more like guaranteed universal life, meaning GUL. But I'll show you an example of what these two look like. We also have a very unique product. I think we're the only one in the industry that has this, and it's called a recap term. That's a 10-year term, just like you would buy any other 10-year term, except for the first 5 years of the term, you're able to convert that product, again, fully convertible on the recap, and get 100% of the premiums that you've paid in those first 5 years converted to your policy. So a lot of individuals that are thinking the kids are going to be out of the house, they're paying off the home. In 5 years, I'll fully convert. That's what they're looking at with that term. So when I say first 5 years, it can be the first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Doesn't matter what year. It could be the fourth. You get all of the premiums you paid convertible to your new product. Now, you did hear me say 1 through 5, even though it's a 10-year. After the 5th year, if you convert year 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10, you still get 1 full year of premium credit. And we've done the math, meaning if you converted year 10 on the recap term and got 1 year premium credit, you would still have gotten all the premium back you would have paid for in the 10 plus, meaning you wouldn't have lost a penny, you know, being in that recap term where you were thinking of converting in the first 5 years. The last thing I'll talk about, and I have a slide on the back end, is our fluidless underwriting right now, meaning no pyramid, no exam, no phone call to the client. Up to age 45 and including age 45, we have it up to 1 million, but this year, this month in July, we'll be moving that up to $2 million. So it'll be up to age 45, up to $2 million here in July for any client looking at getting one of our coverages. Um, again, so I'll give you an example of how competitive we try to be and stay in that 10, 15, and 20-year terms. I go into the next slide. So this gives you an example of just premium. I mean, this is a 40-year-old client, $1 million premium, super preferred, showing you the 10 plus, again, fully convertible, the recap, which is only a 10-year, 15, 15 plus, 20, 20 plus. And you see the premiums right there on the right-hand side, very slight increases in premium. And then again, that recap term, 4109. So you get to see all the premiums right here. And we can run this type of quote as well, send that to you so you're able to see all of the premiums side by side. The reason I have this slide over here on the side is just to show you the different ratings that we do have. We have smoker, select smoker. People ask, well, what's the difference? It's really the build. If someone's a super preferred build, happen to be a smoker, or a good build, they're going to get select smoker. And then we have non-smoker, select non-smoker, preferred, and super preferred. Again, we try to stay extremely competitive. I'll show you an example here on our terms. These are our old rates. If you look on the left, those are our old rates. You see a lot of red. That means we were 7, meaning number 7 as far as carrier, or later in premium. We used to be, good in spots, but you see that green area. We want to be 1 through 3 in term in those areas. So you look on the right hand side, in November we repriced our term, and that's where we want to be. We want to see a lot of green. We want to be number 1 if you quote us out in the market. And I want to show you guys an example of that. Now, some companies have repriced their term after we repriced our term, but we're going to reprice again and make sure we're at the very top of that. So give you guys an example. Here's a 45-year-old female, and that's a 10-year term, 15-year term, 20-year term, 100,000, 500,000, a million. You get an example. I mean, we're almost number 1 across the board, and I want to give you guys an example of what that looks like. So I ran a couple of quotes. This is a 45-year-old female. This is select non-smoker. I ran out in the market, 15-year, 100,000. You see Securian at 1628. You see Foresters. Either way, I wanted to make sure that we did look number 1, like we said we would. So going forward, I went ahead, ran a quote, making sure, and we were number 1 in that market at $16. Again, we're going to be working on staying as competitive we are in the term, but that's what you're looking at there. We don't have a 30-year. We get asked a lot, why don't you have a 30-year term? A couple of years ago, reserves asked that we put a lot more money in reserve to sell a 30-year term, and we just felt like that if we had better permanent products, we would prefer that for our clients than a 30-year term. So I just want to share that with you, why we do not have a 30-year term. As I keep going here, we are very favorable. I just did a meeting the other day with a group out of California. So just sharing with you that as more states open up to whether medical or social, marijuana use, we are very, very favorable. If you have clients in states that are needing that favorable marijuana use, let me know. And again, we are very favorable in that market. Our whole life, not too big. We've got 3 whole life products. We've got a 10-pay whole life. We've got a pay to age 65. So if you all sell, let's say, a lot of IUL, this is that max contribution to age 65, but in a whole life product. And then we have our Prestige Protector, which is basically your pay to age 100. Now you're going to find that our 10 pay and our pay to age 65, and I'll show you an example shortly, are very, very competitive premium wise. Our pay to age 100, that Prestige Protector, is a couple of dollars more, and because of the buildup, meaning you're going to build up more cash value. So I'll show you an example here. So our 10, these are the 3 products. If you're looking for a whole life that goes under 100,000, and I will tell you, I am an independent advisor. I'm a 7 and 66. So if I need to sell a client, a lot of times the client will ask, do you have a $50,000 whole life I can buy? That would be only the Prestige Protector. So just in case you're running quotes through IAMS or calling us in for quotes, only one of our products this whole life will go under 100,000. That's the Prestige Protector right there. As I get going, give you an idea, we are the lowest priced 10 pay whole life in the industry. That's what gets sold quite a bit when it comes to our whole life right there. A lot of cash buildup, but either way, when you look at this example right here, 500,000 death benefit and the other carriers that are in that space, you see we are the lowest premium. And that's one thing that gets sold quite a bit, our 10 pay whole life. What you're going to notice is, an example, Mass Mutual on a 35-year-old is almost twice as much. As a matter of fact, I ran them about 2 days ago, and they came back at about 30,000. So the premium went up a little bit. But there are clients who want to put more cash than we're showing here, and we can design it that way. Meaning we can put term rider, what's called PUA rider, get up to 29,000 of premium if the client would like, and have that much more cash. So we're not just set on our low 10 pay premium that leads the industry. We can build that up for more cash value if anyone's looking for that as well. Let me go ahead and move on. So when it comes to IUL, again, I mentioned that photo of all the IULs out there. What is our claim to fame when it comes to our IUL with Ohio National? And it's going to be our low expenses. We have some of the low, if not the lowest expenses in the industry. When I look out 10 years at illustrations, I'm hard pressed to find any company that beats us in cash value within 10 years. Be honest, hard pressed to find any company that beats us in 20 years. Now, they may look better, say year 22 on paper. My belief is I want to show my clients and sit down with my clients and them see statements in the first 10, 15, 20 years that beats the competition that's going to be us. So I'll share with you what I'm looking at. And again, we have some of the lowest expenses in the industry. What is it about our IUL? Three things to try to remember here. Very low expenses, as I mentioned, high accumulation, especially in the first 20 years. Now, some of these other companies can illustrate higher than us, so that's why year 22 they may look like they have more cash value. But I think, what I look at is the industry continues to lower caps, and if they do lower caps, 22 years later, I believe that I'm still putting my client in the best product. And then when it comes to better ratings, I did write that on there. We are giving clients some of the best cost of insurances in the industry. And so let's get into that, show you what I mean by better ratings. If you get a table B, C, or D with another carrier, you should think about bringing that client to Ohio National because of how low our expenses are. So I'll go ahead and continue here. So our current caps right now, our current S&P point to point is 9.25. Not necessarily the highest. I know there's a couple of companies that have a little bit higher, but I will tell you an example I saw the other day. I saw a Midland product. They got their anniversary statement, and their cap was at 7.29. So again, caps, I think we're still very competitive at 9.25. The other one I want to share with you is our uncapped. I don't believe there's an uncapped out there that is better than our uncapped. Nationwide has a very similar uncap. A couple of carriers have other uncaps that might even participate 150% plus, but are in a different index, meaning they're not in the S&P 500. They're in a Barclays type of product. And to match the S&P 500, they have to give 165%. They have to give 150%. So if there's ever a participation in an uncap that says, that we're giving 150 160%, there's a reason for that, because that index that they're using doesn't match the performance of the S&P 500. So as you notice, I'll just kind of glance at last year, and this is about December 15th of 2021. We would have paid out 20.48% to that client, and again, that gets me excited. So give you an example of a perfect client. This is me. I'm an advisor. I want to see my client have a certain amount of money at a particular age. Here's a good example. So a little bit small on the screen, I do apologize, but perfect client. In our example of expenses, and I'll come back to this in a second, but so here's a client who put in 300,000 for 10 years. After that, he's now 66. You see our cost of insurance being 5213. Annually, $5,213. And you see, I put 15,000 over here. We in our product have a small bonus of zero point 0.3. That's a small bonus after year 11, or actually year 11 and on. And if you notice, on this client, he's got nearly 5 million. That 0.3% bonus would have that client with 15,000 in there. And so what I'm getting at here is the client basically has a managed account. We're paying that client more than it cost him to be in that product. We're paying the client over 50, I'm sorry, 10,000 more than he has paying to be in this product. This client has 5 million, but yet has the opportunity, like I showed you in this example, where he would have earned 20%. So this client right here at age 66, using that example, would have possibly earned $1 million nearly in interest had he been, in a product like ours. So for me, the low cost of insurance, the only, ledger right here when you see expenses, that's where Ohio National is extremely competitive, built for higher growth, things like that. So give you guys a good example. This is a case that we did recently. This is a client out of Boston who came back preferred with Penn Mutual. And Penn Mutuals are good. They get a lot of premium in IUL. So this client had gone and applied to Penn Mutual, 6.9 million, and got a preferred rating at Penn Mutual. And then they came to Ohio National with one of our advisors. We went ahead, underwritten, we got a preferred as well. And the client was kind of stuck. Who am I going to go with? Both got preferred. So giving you guys an example of our COI, our cost of insurance, it was 4266. And if you look, I'm going to show you Penn Mutual next. Same death benefit. Client was doing a 5 pay for 500,000. Penn Mutual, nearly $24,000 per year one. And again, same death benefit, same premium going in, same stall, yet they were that much more expensive. And that's what you're going to find of almost every carrier out there. So give you guys an example again. I don't want to get off this page without you kind of hitting it home. Our cost of insurance is so low. It would take, and this is the preferred client, it would take us rating this client table L, in order to match the premiums with the competitor of ours at Penn Mutual. Same with Allianz, except Allianz is much more expensive. So you notice right here that Penn Mutual is about 5 times more expensive in COI for their preferred client. To me, that's 500% more expensive. And again, that's where we compete strongly. So give you guys an example. If I was, and I just ran this client, recently, 50-year-old $1 million IUL with Penn Mutual, that's their COI. I had to run us at table L to get to the COI that Penn Mutual has. Now, I'm only using Penn Mutual, but all the carriers are very, very similar when it comes to cost of insurance. We are just the lowest. And when you get to a solve like this, you want to have the lowest. And again, for me, I have a pretty good size IUL. I put nearly my mortgage size premium into that. I believe in ours. And again, it's because of the low cost of insurance. And again, the very low expenses that you see, which is just a lot of buildup for your client. So going forward, I'm going to jump over to another presentation that I got that I did recently. And in this presentation, I call it a stress test. So bear with me while I pull this up. Here we go. So what I did last summer, now it is a year old, but I'm going to share it with you either way. Again, purchasing my IUL, putting as much as I want in there. I was, making sure I did my due diligence in what is the best option out there. If caps continue to go down, if I get a couple of 0 years, I want to know that I'm with the best IUL. So I'm going to show you guys an example of the stress test I ran. So what I did was I wanted to pretend that caps were 6%. If caps ever came down to 6% and my clients that I personally put money into were earning 6%, would I still have one of the best IULs out there? So I went back historically 20 years. Some of you all might remember the internet bubble back in 2000. And again, there were 3 consecutive years in 2000 that there was a 0 return, meaning it was under that performance, 0. Market was down 7, down 14, down 20. Again, our clients would have earned 0, but there were a couple years up. So in that 20-year period, there were 6 zeros. And I wanted to kind of put that into my IUL when I ran that. But also, run it at a 6% cap rate. So again, what I did was over 20 years, I put zeros in the illustration wherever there were zeros, and then I put 6 wherever it did hit the cap. And then year 20 and on, so it's year 20 to 61, I went ahead and used a 6% return for all these examples I'm about to show you. So let's take a look at what happened, what carriers, and why, I think as an IUL, Ohio National is the place to go. So this is the client I used. I used a 60-year-old male, non-smoker, so standard, and I did 100,000 for 10 years, and I leveled it off. Now, not only that, I went option B to A, meaning the lowest death benefit, so the client could get so much more cash value in there. Went ahead and did that, and again, leveled it off after 10 years. And remember, 6 zeros are in here, and 6 was the highest cap that I used. The first 3 years are zeros. I'll show you an example. But what was the cash value? That's what's important to me. Year 20, the client is 80. We have 1.2 million in cash value. Going forward, 30-year, client is now 90. We have 1.664 million in that. Again, kind of highlighting it there for you. Age 100, client still has 1.3 million in cash value. And then you notice that the death benefit, again, staying the same. How did our competitors do that I was able to run here? Now, something I will tell you is Ohio National is able to put in year by year by year interest rates. The carriers that I'm about to show you allowed me to do that. If there's a carrier missing, it's only because that carrier did not have a year by year by year interest. So looking at it, and I'm going to show you an example. And again, not just this, I'm going to actually show you the illustrations. But year 20 in the example, that stress test, if I'm going to sell a client and caps go down, interest isn't returning what it is, am I in the best product? I ran Lincoln, Pac Life, and John Hancock, who honestly are at the top getting a lot of premium. Look at their year 20 when I did that stress test, 679, 724, 788, on average over 40% less cash value than Ohio National. Now we do sing really great if interest rates are high. So again, interest rates higher, that's a good thing for us. And really what I want you to hit home when you see these is their costs. They're expensive, and I'll show you what that looks like here. So not just going to show you this slide, but actually go into their illustrations. So again, keep in mind the 1.2 million here, almost 1.3, age 90, 1.6, age 100, 1.3 million. Let's go ahead and look at Lincoln. I ran the same exact illustration, same exact solve, and again, year 20, they're at 679. I wanted to see what happens beyond that, because keep in mind, I went ahead and gave everybody 6% from year 20 on. So they're earning 6% in whatever cash value they still have year 20. And when I go to Lincoln, again, 679, obviously their death benefit is lower because of that. They actually lapsed at age 92, ran out of cash value. We had 1.6 million at age 90. They have 288,000, and that's Lincoln. I actually used to be with Lincoln for a couple of years as a sales manager. At that time, I did like their products. They've gotten a bit more expensive. Going into Pac Life, in my opinion, is the most expensive product out there. But again, looking at some of their cash values, year 20, 788. We get out here, they lapse at age 93. And again, we had 1.3 million at age 100, and they lapse at Pac Life at age 93. I mean, gives you an example of the expenses. And they are earning 6% every single year past year 20. So here at age 29, they're earning 6%, and yet they still lapse. That is concerning. Yes, you can probably drop death benefit, things like that. But in this example, just showing you the strength of the expenses. I'm going to come back to this slide, which is actually how Pac Life charged a lot of their enhancements. I'll come back to that. But go to John Hancock, give you an example here. So John Hancock, after 20 years, 724,000. And then they ended up lapsing at age 90. Even though I'm giving them 6% every year at 715,000, they still lapse at age 90. That's concerning. The reason being, again, where were we at age 90? I'm sorry, I'm going to go back up here, show you guys where we were at age 90. Here we go. 1.6 million at age 90. And John Hancock has lapsed at age 90. And I try not to laugh, but these are my clients. I'm a 7 and 66 advisor, meaning I have my Series 7, Series 66. I'm a financial advisor. I want to make sure through whatever markets that my client has the most cash value. And here's just a strong example where John Hancock has zero cash value at age 90. My client has nearly 7 million at age 90. So give you guys a rundown here. Again, an example 20 years later, 1.2 million with Ohio, and almost every other carrier. I mean, the highest is 788,000, but comes down pretty quickly after that. Now, here's another thing I did, guys. Keep in mind that 1.27, almost 1.3 year 20. So what I did next was I actually increased the caps for the three carriers that I ran. Rather than 6%, I went ahead and with Lincoln, they had a max illustrated rate of 673. I went ahead and put 673 everywhere that it hit the cap. And then same with Pac Life, they had a 7% rate. Oops, sorry. They had a 7%. I went ahead and put 7% in everywhere that it would hit the cap. Same with John Hancock, 734. That was their max illustrated rate. So everywhere that it hit 6%, I put 734. And you notice the cash values year 20, 857, a million 40, 981, and yet they still didn't have the cash value that Ohio National had at a 6% cap rate all the way out to year 20. We had 1.276 million. And again, our competitors did not have that. So again, just wanted to show you, you're putting your clients, you can rest at night as your clients age, as even us as advisors may pass away prior to the client reaching retirement age. You're putting your client in the best solution to have minimal expenses. So I'm going to get back out here and jump over to the presentation that I had. Hold this up again. Looks a lot nicer this way. Okay, so here we go. Which IUL to choose? I was giving you guys some examples of the expenses and show you guys a couple of more. I want everybody on the call to earn more money in the years to come. And I don't mean by overselling potentially, but actually what I'm getting at in my next couple of slides is if you ever have a client that comes back table B, table C, table D, and they are that cash value build-up client, many times when we get that table B, C, or D back, the advisor feels like, you know what, I just blew up my chance to get this client into a cash value IUL. Well, you're noticing that we treat those B, C, and Ds like super preferred clients. That's the case. I mean, here's an example of that table L that I mentioned, and yet that's Penn Mutual Standard. Our table L is Penn Mutual Standard. Gosh, we'd have to go out to table K, P in order to match Allianz. The Allianz is 10 times more expensive, but that's traditional. They're going to be that much more expensive. So I'm going to give you guys an example of how that benefits your client if they do come back table B with another carrier already selling IUL. To consider coming to Ohio National. There's a very good reason, and I'll give you an example of how strengthful it is when that client comes back table B. So here's an example. This is the cost of insurance. This is a ledger in here. I was asked the other day, I was in Iowa, Des Moines, Iowa, doing a presentation, and the gentleman stopped me and he said, Rick, you're showing guaranteed maximum cost, but everyone's using current. So why are you showing that? Well, and this is actually my policy that I pulled up when I purchased it, and I pulled the policy, the PDF. In the policy, it only has the guaranteed cost of insurance. So even though I'm not being charged that, it's less, it's the current cost of insurance. Either way, this is the ledger that I go off of when it comes to cost of insurance. So here's a good example. I showed you that on there. This is the example of having year-to-year interest rates that you can put in there. And here's what I wanted to show you guys. So this is an example of a teacher, a principal who was purchasing an IUL. As you notice, they were going to increase premium, in a couple of years. But I wanted to show the client, they came back table B. When I ran the client initially, we ran standard, and then they came back table B. And the advisor called me and he says, Rick, what are we going to do? They came back table B. I said, well, let's look at the cost. how much did the cost change? And maybe there's an opportunity for the client. So just want to give you an idea. So the premium going in, the client wanted to increase premium later, but here's the load charge, which we're just a hair under 6%. The COI and the admin, and after 10 years, the admin goes away and it's just policy fees. But the COI pretty much forever. She came back table B. And again, the advisor got a little concerned, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So the only thing that you're going to see change is that COI from non-smoker standard to table B. And you notice the 176 load is the same, the admin charge is the same. The only thing that changed was the COI by $31 in year one. But how does that benefit the client? I'm going to show you guys an example. So came back table B, and I highlighted there table B for the client. $31 is all that went up. So the client is still being treated like a super preferred client when you compare us to other competitors. So here's what I want to show you guys. When I ran the illustration, here's what jumped out to me. So initially when I ran standard, client came back standard, the maximum contribution year to year was $11,850. And a lot of my clients, a lot of advisors, clients want to backfill that money. Hey, well, I didn't put in, I only put in about $3,000, but if I get that bonus, I'll dump in 10,000. I'll actually make that up. But here's an example. When she came back table B, the the maximum went from 11,850 to 16,416. So why do I own an IUL? Why do many people buy an IUL? In many cases, it's because they can't put money into the Roth IRA. They're earning too much income. Maybe as a family, as a couple, they're earning too much income to put into a Roth IRA. So the only other, not only other, but one of the best options is an IUL. And in this example, here's a client who came back table B. The cost of insurance is the only thing that changed by $31, and yet they're able to put an additional nearly 5,000 into that product for a $31 increase. So again, I just share with you guys, we treat table B, C, D clients like super preferred clients. They can put more money into that product either way, and we're treating them, with the best cost of insurance that's out there in the industry, very low expenses, and so forth. So a couple of more slides I've got for you guys, but I wanted to just, ring it in. If you ever get a B, C, or D and you're already riding with another carrier, you should really think about bringing that client over to Ohio National. Our low cost of insurance, they're going to thank you forever for that. So let me go on, see what we have. Again, make more sales. And by that, I mean, you should bring your super preferred clients to us. You really save them money if they're super preferred, but if they are not super preferred, still, that's an opportunity for you as advisors, for you as agents, to get that premium business, to get that client, the goal that they're really looking for. So what I was going to point out here is take an early, easy lead in cash value. I'll show you an example here in a second. Lower your client's expenses. And then again, the ratings that we offer are better for your clients. So I'm going to go to a quick competitive advantage, and then I'm going to kind of wrap it up here. So recently, I was asked by one of my carriers to, let me go here, to run their most competitive carriers. And they had three: Prudential, Lincoln, and Penn Mutual were the ones that they ran. And they said, Rick, can Ohio National beat them? Run them and let me know. So I did a competitive analysis. Here's some of what I found out, but I'm going to show you guys what I actually saw when I ran these competitors. And again, that early cash value is what I'm going to show you guys. So this one's an example: million, 45-year-old, million death benefit. I just left it level from day one. And what I did with these carriers is I matched their premium and I matched their interest rate. So I wasn't running us at a higher interest rate, and I wasn't running us at a higher premium. I wanted to match those. So here's what we're going to look at. So expenses aside, this is what I look at all the time. I'm not falling in love with the illustration that has a lot of cash value necessarily. I'm looking at expenses. I'm trying to see how expensive is this policy. You notice here there are, and then year 20 at contributing 15,930. I didn't do any stress tests. I did 5.22% on Pru. You see 367,000 is what they had right there. When I go a little bit further, I did have the client stop putting premiums after 20 years. So age 40, I'm sorry, not age 40, age 84, year 40, You notice the cash value 696. How does that compare, to Ohio National? And I'll run it out here. So here's the example again that I did with Prudential, 367 in the bottom right. I highlighted that for you. Ohio National, 400,000. And again, here are those expenses that I shared with you, very minimal. Then we get out to year 40, we're 978. And again, 696. So some of these carriers, maybe, like I said, maybe we get to year 22 and on paper, they may finally catch us. Not Prudential here, but some of the other carriers. But year 22, I mean, if you all have sold some IULs in the last 10 years, how does the product look 10 years later? Are we getting the exact same return as we were 10 years ago? Or has it come down a little bit? And maybe what we're showing the client isn't that exact interest rate any longer. For your clients, they're still going to be very strong. So again, just giving you that example. I'll show you Lincoln as well. I'll just focus in on the 10-year and the 20-year and the 40-year. So 400 and 978. So when I go to Lincoln, and again, running the same client, I used 5.54 for them. We're at 559, and again, I'll give you guys an example of where we are there, and 2,333,617 is where we're at when I ran the 5.54, and again, they're at 559. We're at go back one, 617,000, again, 559. We go to year 40, we're at 2.6 million, and they're at 2.3 million. Client would be missing out on $300,000, when it comes to that. So just giving you guys an example of that 20-year that I mentioned. I'm going to come out here and give you one more example of what I wanted to mention here. Let me come out, and I'm going to wrap it up here in about 2 minutes. Sorry, went to the very beginning, guys. When I show you this example right here, with Penn Mutual, and Penn Mutual does sell a lot of IUL premium, many carriers. Allianz is much more expensive. They're not 500% more expensive. They're 1,000% more expensive in year one. But what I wanted to share with you, and the reason I'm sharing this, is in the first 5 years, this product was $138,000 more than our IUL. And those are real dollars, guys. Interest can be what it is. I mean, we may earn interest this year. The market's been a struggle. I don't mind. I'm hoping it bounces back next year and I get a lot of premium. Same for my clients. But in this example right here, Penn Mutual, as well as many, many other carriers, they were $138,000 more. I had a chance to talk to the client. He said, who do I go with? I said, well, here's the example. You're basically buying a S-Class Mercedes here, $138,000 when you're buying that product. Save yourself that money. $138,000 was the difference in the first 5 years. Save yourself that money. I mean, don't even put that premium in if you want, and keep that cash for yourself. So keep that in mind when it comes to the premium that I mentioned here. Now, we do have a simplified underwriting. Remember, no call to the client whatsoever. I'll just run it home real quick with the IUL. Early cash value lead, lower client expenses. They're going to love you for that. And then better for your clients. And when I say that again, that comes to the ratings. We're not overcharging your client. 2 policies could say super preferred. That doesn't actually mean they're getting that type of return. So either way, let me move forward here. So save your clients real dollars. I think you know what? Let me, I've got it somewhere here. I want to show you guys the other ledger that I have. Well, gosh, here we go. This is what I wanted to show you guys right here. And this is our, we've trademarked it on cue, which means that that's a trademark of ours. That's our simplified underwriting program. Now, you notice 18 to 45 underwriting classes, all underwriting classes. So anyone can get approved with us. But at the same time, we have $1 million maximum. We have increased that, and we're going to increase that here in July. So in July, we're going to go to 2 million of coverage for your client. And it is e-application. Our goal is to get that turned around within 2 to 5 business days. Again, no exam, no lab work. and no phone call to your client. I just wanted to share that with you. And that's for all of our products. We have the same in disability as well. They wouldn't have to do a full pyramid in order to get disability up to age 45. And I want to say, I believe it's up to $4,500 of monthly benefit and disability as well. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up right there and ask any questions that anybody has for us, in this right here. So, any questions at all? Greg, are you on the line, Greg?
Yep, I'm still on the line. I
Okay.
haven't had any chat questions come through though at
Hey,
the time.
any on your end, Greg? I know you get a lot of illustrations, but I mean, we could save everyone time, give that time back to them. But as you've seen my presentation, are there any questions that you have? Maybe questions you might have for the advisors you're working with daily that may not be on the call, but are always asking for your advice or your lead on that.
I think your slideshow was very comprehensive. I didn't really have any specific questions about that, but I was going to ask you to send that over to me as well as any other info that I might be able to distribute out to agents as I talk to them, so we can try to get them more knowledgeable of your product, because I know that you guys have really strong products, and I really wanted to showcase that today.
Perfect. Yeah, I will send you the slides, and you're welcome to distribute that to anybody that would like to. And again, when it comes to illustrations, let me know. Obviously, your team there at IAMS is doing a great job of running them. But if you need any details, you need any 1035 run illustrations, and have some questions, please feel free to let me know. So that's my presentation. If any questions come in later, Greg, you get some emails. Let me know. I'm happy to help in any way.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it today, Rick.
Hey, no problem. And again, I'll mute myself, let you wrap it up. And if you need anything, just let me know. I was going to say, do I need
I
a unshare in order to give you access back, or can you unshare me?
um I can just bring it back to me.
Okay, perfect, perfect. I'll mute myself. Thank you all, and let me know if you need anything. And last thing I'll say is that Firelight, we are Firelight. Uh, we use Firelight, so anyone using Firelight, you're going to enjoy, our software. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
and that makes Firelight makes it so much easier. So Firelight, I'm excited to see more and more companies coming onto it. So, but as far as the polls question, we're just going to do three quick poll questions, and then we will wrap this up. The first question is, would you like to get contracted with IAMS? Now, this you can answer yes, even if you're just interested, even if you want to just talk to somebody more about what we have to offer, things like that. I'll leave this up for a few minutes, and then we'll move on to the next one. All right, we'll move on to the second one. Are you interested in a complementary marketing analysis? Kind of goes back to what I was talking about at the beginning of the slide. We've got all sorts of services we offer as far as our creative department. So our marketing analysis can do a deep dive with you, and we can talk about what you're doing for marketing, what you're doing as far as websites, social media, all of that stuff, and we can put together a customized plan for you to be able to help you achieve your goals. So I'll leave this up for a few seconds here, and then we'll move on to the last one. All right, and then this is the last question that I've got for you guys today, and that is, would you like more information on our Life and Annuity Academy? We haven't released all of the details for it yet, but we do have another Life and Annuity Academy coming up in August. I'm not sure where it's going to be yet, but those are really engaging things for agents, especially newer agents with us, to attend. So there's a lot of presentations by some of our top producers, as well as you would have an opportunity to meet our CEO, CMO, and a lot of higher ups in our company. So they're very, very beneficial academies. I'm going to go ahead and close that one. And thank you, everybody, for coming today. I do appreciate it. And you feel free to give us a call if you have any questions. And again, thanks to Rick Gomez for the presentation today. I hope everybody has a lovely weekend and a happy 4th of July.